Hey, popular people, it is Mark and Carlo.
And
here
congratulations
with
to Mark for shooting a 72 at the U.S. Open today. Wow, really knocked it out of the park. Woo, baby!
All right, I'm going to fucking kick your fucking ass. I hate it. You know I didn't want to wear this shirt because I knew you'd come after me. All right, but we're not going to talk about how much I hate Carlo and what a piece of shit he is, or my clothing that I'll think about for the next hour of this podcast. We're going to talk about our guest, Pete Capella, who is here, voice of Share Guy, and also Tanner Christiansen.
Share Guy, that's so funny.
Oh, hi. I'm here about the Share Squad.
Nobody gives a fuck about fucking Cher! This is a cheer squad, you asshole!
Jesus, change your sign, you fucking bitch.
I forget about Share Guy. Hey, I didn't realize you were sponsored by Nike. This is so cool.
Yeah, man.
And also, Mark, Carlo's wearing a U.S. soccer team jersey as if he plays on the fucking team.
I don't do what Carlo does. I don't fuck with his incredibly fragile self-esteem and incredible insecurity about his clothing.
Mark, I'm setting you up for a layup here. You're wearing a regular polo shirt, and I'm sitting here in a soccer kit. I'm like, here you
Carlo,
go, buddy.
if you don't think I'm
Kick
not
the ball
coming
back
after
to
your
me.
ass, because apparently, what are you watching? You watching football now, Carlo? Because all the cool kids are doing it. I've never heard you even mention the word soccer.
Mark, in 2014, we watched multiple World Cup games. We left work early to go watch multiple World Cup games together.
Well, I blaked out most of my time with you, but that could be accurate. Fair
Also,
enough.
my wife played soccer in college, so you know.
Hey, U.S. is 2-0 for the first time since 1930.
Fucking
That's
insane.
impressive.
What's up,
Fantastic.
guys? And Pete's a Knicks fan. He's living the high life.
I am a Nick. I'm having a really good end of the year or middle of the year sports wise. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Well, get ready for this to be the turning point.
Let's tank this fucking year, guys.
Yeah,
All three of us
bring it
also are in a
down.
fantasy football league together, so we spend lots and lots of time talking massive amounts of shit together. But I'm sure that everybody watching this cares deeply about all of those things.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure we cross section quite a bit with sports. Last episode we talked a lot about drag, and all those comments and views skyrocketed. I'm sure these segments are going to do just as good.
People are usually popping over from fantasy football podcasts right over directly to the Most Popular Girls rewatch podcast.
Yeah.
It's a
well, there is
crossover.
football in the show.
This is very true. It's rarely seen because
as
we
little
discussed,
as possible,
it's
because it's very hard to
animate.
animate.
Yeah.
The quarterback can't bend his arms. It's not a great setup we have.
We were talking on a previous episode. We've only used clay to make a prop twice in the history of the show. Once was to make a turkey for the Thanksgiving episode. The other time was to make a football helmet because you cannot buy 1/6 scale football helmets anywhere.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now everything can be 3D printed, which is crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I often think about how easy some of the shit would be now for us to just order on a 3D printer, boom, done.
Oh yeah. Well, and that was one thing. Once we got this, it was probably post season 5 when we were doing some other shows. But Mark, you got that kind of became a passion project for you, was just learning how to 3D print and design stuff and create props in that way.
I loved it. Yeah. I mean, 3D printing was changed. I mean, at that point, we couldn't do MPGIS anymore, but when we were doing Havoc was when we started doing 3D printing, and then 3D printing got really big. I mean, when we made a video for a band called The Living Tombstone, which is still around. And by the way, Carlo, they're touring now. They're huge.
friends of mine.
God. Wait,
really?
Yeah, I had no idea you made a video for them.
Yeah,
they're
we did
literally
their stop
friends of
motion
mine.
video. We're the ones that
way.
We did the first version of their uniforms.
No way.
In stop motion. I have miniatures of all those characters, and they glow and they light up. It's super
Sam and Jonathan are friends of mine.
That's amazing. Yeah, we literally met them at a film festival 12 years ago or something.
Wow.
The music video we did for them, which is I believe called What I Want, is by far it was the peak of our animation ability. It's the best thing we've ever made, and it was we did it right during the pandemic. I think it literally started right before the pandemic, and we finished it throughout. It was me, the camera guy, and one animator, and we all had to wear masks, and we had to stay in different parts, and we were able to finish that video. So yeah, I'll put some clips of What I Want here in The Living Tombstone. Super cool band, and this was before they did live performances in the suits. And so we got to do these little stop motion versions of their suits and then perform it. And it looks so fucking cool. But Pete, I'm excited to have you on to talk because obviously we'll talk about MPGIS and doing voice acting, which is what you do. And that's my phone.
Is that the Rugrats theme song?
That's adorable.
Hey, if you know, you know.
I love giving you shit, but I have nothing. I have nothing.
Yeah, I know you expect the Rugrats theme song.
Yeah. My God.
Tommy Pickles all day long. It was funny. I was recently at this Comic-Con and seeing cosplay, and we were like, Mark, who'd you cosplay as? Like, I don't think I wouldn't cosplay as anything modern or anything. I was like, I'd cosplay as like some like Nicktoon. And I was like, I'd cosplay as something from like Rugrats. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, no, because I'm pretty sure they walk around with diapers, and I wouldn't be a grown ass adult walking around with diapers.
You would not be the only one, honestly.
Yeah, right. Oh,
like, that's the convention next door, bud. Sorry, you think you got things crossed.
Well, that's the reason I'm excited to talk to you, Pete. Because Pete, you not only did you do Tanner Christiansen, obviously an acclaimed voice role that I'm sure is on all your reels, but you've also voiced a lot of really unbelievable characters in a variety of shows. And you get to go to a lot of conventions and do signings and stuff.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing, to get. But look, I will say, so the best known character is Silver the Hedgehog from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. I did like 10 or 11 games. It was his original voice in 10 or 11 games, and then Dexter and Yu-Gi-Oh. But I will say, my third name drop is always Tanner Christiansen and Most Popular Girls in School.
Fucking
because
amazing.
You would be blown away at how many people come to my table and they're there for Sonic and they look up and they're like, shut the fuck up, and because I have him big on my, because, we have giant banners of our dumbass heads behind us and all of our characters, and Tanner is up there and people know who he is. If they know right away, and they are beyond stoked.
That's awesome.
Which is super wild because Tanner is just a basic Ken doll. Like the female characters, even Than isn't incredibly recognizable, even though he's wearing a shirt. But like,
sure.
So to recognize Tanner is such a funny thing.
Well,
but I believe it.
He's got the one that I have up there. He has his number 7 jersey on.
That's true. The football
and then
jersey.
some people do say, "Oh, did you voice a Barbie?" But if people know, they really know.
That's so cool.
Well, well, exactly, and especially because obviously it's where you're at and what's going on. They don't assume it, but it's so interesting to be able to recognize that. But yeah, I guess that I'm so glad we actually got those jerseys so that we could actually have some better recognition of what it is. This is, and in fact, this episode we're going to be watching on this podcast is the episode where we had the early football jerseys.
Yeah, like
which
were actual like off of like Barbies from like the 60s or something.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so they were the ones that set the colors to red and whites, because we were like, the football players don't have any jerseys. So we found actual Barbie jerseys, which was so dumb. But they all had the number 7 because it's just one doll. So you're the only character that has a 7. All the other characters are wearing their jerseys backwards so that you cannot see that. And so they don't have numbers, which makes no fucking sense. But we figured that
I
made
guess I
more
never
sense.
even noticed that. But number 7 was always my soccer number throughout high school and college. So not that you would have known that, but I was like, oh, this is a cute little nod to myself.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's so funny. So we'll get into that too. But like, so yeah, you go to conventions, you see, and I just recently went to one, which is amazing. We saw some fans. And so like, would you say is the thing first they react like, oh my God, then what is the most common response or thing you
why
hear?
isn't the show still on?
Oh, right.
Everybody wants it.
Asking?
Well, yeah, but I mean, but in the best way, everybody wants it back. They're begging for it to come back. So, I get to talk to them about, what happens in Hollywood and how, we had a couple of things in the works and it just didn't work out. And that was the end of the show. But it was, and when people ask me, I mean, if you could go to panels, because I do a lot of, we're usually doing Sonic panels, but when people ask, what my favorite thing to do was, or at least the most fun thing to do, I always say Most Popular Girls in School, because it is very rare that you're in the room with other actors, Usually you're just in a booth by yourself. B, you get to improvise, and C, like you were kind of handpicked from the very beginning, without auditioning, just blind faith that we could make this funny. And it was just such an amazing. I look back on it so fondly. Actually, and really quickly, I remember when we first started doing it. And and you guys like, okay, we're going to go to the apartment or whatever. And I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do this. What am I doing this for? Like, I just thought it was such a dumb thing. And then once we started doing it, I was like, oh, this is the most fun thing in the world.
I love that.
How did you get into it? Because I wasn't part of the casting at that point. You came in. I met you when you first walked through the door. So how did you get into this?
Lily and Carlo, I believe.
It was literally, I think for that first episode, Lily just called, like you and I knew each other from IO.
Yeah.
And for casting that first guys episode, we just left it to Lily to say, who do you think would be good for this? And she called you, Dave, and Conowall.
Right.
And and it was like, all right, cool. You guys are gonna be the guys along with Blaine.
Yeah.
And then and we're just gonna get in there and play. But that first episode, we literally you walked into AJ's apartment.
Right. Wasn't even any of our apartments. It was just my buddy AJ, the patron, the silent patron of MPGIS.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to your credit and all the guys' credit, you guys took it on faith of all right, if you guys say this is gonna be cool, it's gonna be cool. But
yeah, I mean, to be honest with you,
that's the fourth episode.
I didn't believe you that it was going to be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, why not? And also a chance to play as an actor, especially one it was kind of when I hadn't been in LA very long. What year was that?
So that would have been 2012.
2012, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. I guess I was there 5 years. But you're still you're just trying to do anything to break in, and so for this, it wasn't in my mind, it wasn't something that was going to break in, but it was like, oh, I get to play with other improvisers. Like, how much fun is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it was at that point there was at least enough of we were at episode 4, so the first episode had gotten a little bit of an internet bump, and like we've talked about on the show before, it was the most successful thing that we had done. It wasn't life-changing or anything. That wouldn't happen until right before season 2. But it was at least enough where when we started reaching out to people, hey, you want to come do a voice? There was at least something there where we're like, oh, this is kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I remember being intimidated by you guys because I think you guys all kind of knew each other. I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
Carlo maybe knew you a little bit. And yeah, it is a weird ask. It is a weird fucking thing to be like, just roll with it. Trust me, we're going to figure this out together. Especially because had you done a lot of voice acting before?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Silver, I started in 2005.
So you've done things, and you're going into studios. You're working with a big sound guy, and then we're going to sit around this dining room table, and we're gonna curse at each other.
Yeah,
I mean, I doubt we'd even given you guys a script.
No, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Not. I don't think ahead of time. I think we might have gotten one when we got there. But
definitely.
I think we had your dolls sitting in front of your script, so you would know here's kind of what you look like.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Well, and so this is something I talk about a lot because I am very outspoken about my beliefs online. Silver has become a queer icon and an underrepresented community icon within the Sonic universe. And me as a cis white man, that's a big responsibility. And I remember. Obviously it's 2012. It's a little bit of a different time, but I remember being like, can I play this role? Is this okay? Yeah. Because it was a queer character, and Silver, it's a hedgehog. I don't know what any of them do.
But in the hedgehog universe, flaming.
Flaming. But so I remember just talking to a couple of my queer friends and saying, what do I do? Is this okay? And what do I do? And they were like, yes, of course it's okay. But also just don't make it stereotypical. And that was always what was in the back of my head. It's just don't have he's a real person. He's a real person. Don't just do what everyone has always done on TV with a gay character.
That Tanner to me is maybe the most important character. If we want to look at anything from the sexuality perspective, Tanner is so important because I fucking hate when shows have all these characters and then the gay character's main characteristic is they are gay. Yeah. They're going to talk about that. They're going to behave that way. Everything about them says it. It's like that's not who Tanner is. No. Now, Tanner happens to be dating somebody who is clearly, we're making the joke of that is how all those characters are. But Tanner's so important. It's like, exactly, don't do anything. That's why it's so funny. It's a surprise of the only reason we know is because someone just said it and he goes, yeah, I'm gay. And everyone goes, yeah, we all know that. And it's like, oh, and that's it? We're not shooting a flag up in the air. We're not all going to do something. It's like, no, and we all move forward.
The only thing that you're saying is that you're gay. I'm not gay. You're gay. Yeah, so? Wait, what? I'm gay, dude.
Yeah, he's definitely gay.
Yeah, he's gay.
We had an assembly about it.
He has been in a gay monogamous relationship for a long time. We accept you, bro.
Thank you, man.
Tanner is, to me, what makes MPGIS feel more realistic than so many other shows.
Well, I remember, and I know where I'm jumping ahead, but during those last 2 seasons of recording, there were emotional moments where I was welling up during our recording. And I was like, oh my God, wait, what happened with the writing? It was always really good and really funny, but it was like you guys took it to another level of being super genuine and putting messages across that you took multiple seasons to build up to. And it was so beautifully done. I think people, obviously there is the cunty of it all, but I think people really overlook and underappreciate how beautiful you guys set up everything toward the end.
Because I could kind of use all the friends I can get right now.
Oh, Tanner. Oh, come on. Tan the man. Tanny Tan. Cry it out. Look, I'm here for you, all right, buddy? No problem. Sorry about the erection as well. That's just gonna be there.
I know.
When we got to, especially to the 5th season, we felt like we knew your abilities as an actor. And Mark and I had the conversation of like, let's get we know Pete can handle this, where it was like Tanner, more than any other character, had scenes with real emotional heft. Yeah. And and we knew that you were going to be up to that challenge. And so for us, from a writer's perspective, it was like, oh, this is fun. We can lean into this. We can have fun with this. And then it was this challenge of how do we do something earnest? How do we do something heartfelt where it has a message that we believe in, but also is really fucking funny. And that's how you get Tanner having these really heartfelt scenes in a room full of dicks.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Giant room with dildos.
So good, truly. And I remember at first when that was all happening, I'm like, well, I want to be funny, and then I was like, no, wait, this is really well written. I like just the way you guys made that character. I think you represented that character so well. And that's hard as straight white dudes in Hollywood. Well, Carlo, you're kind of
finally somebody admits how hard it is for straight white dudes.
That is not what I said.
Thank you, Pete. You are a champion. You know what? You're right.
The clip for social, baby.
It is hard. It is hard as straight white dudes to get it right, is what I'm saying.
Shit.
Even just straight dudes in general, that's 2012 is just those 5 years or whatever. That's a mind-boggling time of what the fuck is going on?
And I'll tell you what makes it easy to deal with black characters, white characters, gay characters, lesbians, whatever it is. It's don't make it the thing.
Yeah.
Don't ever make it the thing. Yeah. You want to bring it up every now and then because you do? Okay. Matthew Deandra brings up that he's black maybe twice in the entire show.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? And certainly no one else gives a shit. Right. In fact, dating, sexuality, not really part of the show at all. In fact, Tanner and Matt are the only two that really have a relationship you see often. No one else seems to have, because we don't care, because that's just not the point. But, and Tanner's good because he's you need that Jason Bateman straight man. when
Yeah.
you have these crazy people dancing around. And it's the funny thing is in this show with all the girls burn up cars, burn down malls, kill people over the dumbest, ridiculous shit. The guys are always dealing with some serious shit. That's always what's going on. They're trying to, like, they're not making fun of Than. They're trying to help him understand how to deal with his insecurities and his sexuality. Be like, dude, we don't care. We're trying to help you. You know, fucking Justin's dad is gone, and they're like trying to be there for him. They're trying to teach Blaine how to raise a kid. Meanwhile, the girls are like, this fucking fat pregnant bitch can't do a cartwheel. It's like the guys are like really trying to hold this thing together. And then, yes, I do love season 5. It's one of my favorite things we ever came up with. Was we thought, oh, what a great idea that Tanner and Than get together. And I was like, you know what's even better is what if they didn't, and Than gets to say this thing of, I'm a pervert, not a monster. And that's the fucking difference. He's all these things, but he's not going to be that. You know?
And that to some extent is like the thesis of statement of the show.
Sure. Yeah. And that's, but it's what connected us. This is so funny that I'm hyper analyzing this, you know, Barbie doll saying shit and
that's
cunt.
what this show is. That's what the podcast is.
This is episode 10 of the podcast, so please dive in.
But like that is what connected us. What I've learned at these conventions is you do not know when you're making these things what it means to the person receiving it. So like I remember my acting coach was like, hey, how are these conventions going? And I was like, man, it's every actor's dream to affect someone in some way. I didn't think it would be through a 14-year-old hedgehog, but here we are. And I feel the same way about MPGIS is like people needed it. It wasn't just a connection. They needed it. Yes, it was funny, but they found emotional connection to it. And I can't imagine how many people it got through the hardest times of their lives. And so like, and I've learned at these conventions, like people truly, truly, truly are so grateful for what creatives have given them.
I would 100% agree with you. And I am, don't get me wrong, I'll take praise anywhere I can fucking get it, but I really struggle to like self-promote. I don't like to put myself out there. You meet me, we'll know each other for maybe a year before I talk about this web series that I did. I just don't do that. So when I went to this convention, now I'm trying to promote my game, Terrible Influence. Get it now at terribleinfluence.com.
It's really good.
Prime Day is going on, guys. 25% off on Amazon Prime. Okay, anyway. But
Well, Mark, I didn't know it was on Prime.
Yeah, we're full on game. We have 2 reviews, 5 stars, soon to be more, hopefully. But I was like, I am going to bring some of the MPGIS characters just because I know if fans do like it, they'll check out the game. Now, I'm not going to make a sign being like, look at me, look what I did, but I'll put them there. They're going to freak out, and then I'll get to be like, I did this. And there weren't tons, but everyone who did recognize it really loved it. But I remember vividly one girl kind of started to break down a little bit, got a little teary. She's with her boyfriend, and she says, she looks to him, she goes, I just never thought I'd see something like this here. I never thought this was going to be here. Like, I didn't think this thing that's so crazy important was going to be here, because it's a smaller Comic-Con. And she's like, I can't believe this is so important for me, and I never would have thought coming here would have that. And I was like, I would go to every one of these if I fucking could, because that is like just gas in the tank for me. I'll pay to do it. I don't give a shit. It was amazing.
What people don't realize is as much as you are jazzing them up, it's so reciprocal. Like I run on that fuel. I was in White Plains, New York last weekend. And it took me over 24 hours to get there. It was 3 plane cancellations. It was delay after delay. And then finally I was awake for over 40 hours straight. And I got to this convention, but the second you get there, this love is emanating from these people that are just there to see you. And it's such an amazing thing as the creative to like get that fuel. I couldn't even imagine, because I remember back in the day, conventions were where careers went to die. You know what I mean? Like you didn't go to a convention, but they're completely different now. I mean, I've been in green rooms with, I remember I was in a specific green room and talking to Brendan Fraser and then Jason Isaacs the weekend he was nominated for an Emmy. And I was like, what's happening right now? Like, this is so crazy.
So we're gonna jump into some episodes here now.
So now
Pete, you're here
that
on
we
it.
talked about a lot of the good stuff that we've done.
Right.
We invited you, Pete.
Now that we're talking about all the praise and how much people love the show, let's talk about something people didn't love, and that's episode 2 of season 2. So basically, we've talked about this in previous, and when we watched the all like Rachel and Judith episode of season 1, which was a huge hit. People loved it. We introduced Rachel's sister Bridget, who's that kind of low voice, everything's awful character. So when we're doing season 2, we're like, ooh, let's do another one of those episodes because Rachel just won homecoming queen. You know, she's
Prom queen.
Prom queen. Thank you. So in the end of the first season, so let's catch up with Rachel.
Boy.
Yeah, so we're gonna, including Tanner, which, you know,
that's right.
Figure that out.
Hit that
You never turn one down. You don't turn it down.
So we just do another episode like that. I mean, this episode isn't even all Rachel and Judith. They actually hang out with the Cheer Squad a little at the end. But for some reason, fucking fans hated this. They were all over us. They were like, get back to the fucking storylines of Deandra. We want to know more pregnant Cezanne, like, fuck these nerds, we hate them. And it was like, let's
set the table for a minute. So this is the second episode of season 2. We've talked a little bit about how we have just hit the mother load in terms of like going viral. Like we had a successful Kickstarter. We're into the second season.
The show went viral after season 1. We did the whole season 1 and then it went viral. So now we're seeing millions of views and tens of thousands of subscribers. So we're feeling like, oh shit, yeah. First episode comes up, boom, biggest spike of views, subscribers we've ever gotten. We're like, fuck yeah, this is happening.
We've got the new, we got the pregnancy storyline. The reaction is really good. We're feeling good about everything. And then creatively, we have the thought of like, okay, so we want to open with the Cheer Squad and this pregnancy storyline with Cezanne. We see like all of the main characters. We see Deandra's new arm. Then the next few episodes, we're going to check in with everybody else, right? We're going to do Rachel and Judith episode. We're going to do a Guy's episode. We're going to do Van Buren's episode, and then circle back to the main plot of the season and then kick that off. Starting with Rachel and Judith was a mistake because we're sitting there going like, people loved the Rachel and Judith episode in the first season. We got to do another one. And we'll talk about kind of like why this episode ultimately doesn't work in a way that, you know, we've delved into a little bit, but we'll go deeper into it and why the reaction from the fans was so like, don't do this.
Yeah. And so after this episode, you don't see Rachel and Judith for quite a while. We got scared of them.
Yeah. Rachel and Judith disappear for a solid most of season 2.
So this is season 2, episode 2, called The New Reality.
Judith, your motorcycle is parked behind my car. Can you move it now?
We'll be out in a minute. We're just getting ready for school.
We reintroduced that they had a motorcycle and that they pulled up into homecoming because we had one and we needed to use it. Problem, thank you.
That's why we're taking so long.
Popular girls take their time.
How long are we saying that Judith's arm's been broken?
Permanently.
Okay.
I
don't know if it ever got fixed. I think at some point we got sick of using that little towel wrapped around her hands.
It's actually not a cast. She just wears an arm sleeve.
Yeah, exactly.
Little liars on the DVR get accidentally erased.
You wouldn't.
Really? I've been huffing paint with homeless guys behind the ambic of foods on Metcalf just to feel alive.
See, Bridget deals with some. Bridget's actually on Euphoria. She's actually from the Euphoria.
Yeah, I think they might have stolen some lines from Bridget to and just dropped them into Euphoria.
So much better now that we're popular.
I know, everything feels so different. I hardly even recognize us.
Hey, what's up, bro?
There's a character you never see ever again.
I think he was in the previous episode talking to Brittany when they think she's pregnant.
Hey, what's up, sluts?
So what are we all doing later? Some real popular girl stuff like sex with boys or shopping with our parents'
money?
This episode has a lot of great lines. That's one of the funny things about this.
Yeah, but no.
Girls need to stick together.
Oh my God. You think that just because you won prom queen, you're popular now?
Yeah, even I'm not that dumb.
But
Also, that's one of Trisha's most metal lines. It's like Trisha would never be that self-aware.
And I was watching the door.
So important.
That doesn't.
This is also us just basically retconning what happened at the end of season 1 and just being like, nothing happened. Nothing's changed. Everything's the same. Fuck it.
Yeah, where we're like, it would be really hard to figure out like a new place for Rachel that's not at the bottom of everything.
And the only thing you two have to offer is your mouths.
Well, actually, I won't have full control of my mouth for another 18 months.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're a fucking train wreck.
Okay, seriously? Who in their right mind would subject their penis to a cage match with that?
Oh, I don't know. How about like
a cage match?
No, not at all.
I know exactly where that joke came from, and it's a private joke.
It's a private joke?
Yeah, it's a joke from my own personal life.
It was the day I lost my fucking teeth.
Yeah. Wait, what?
You really should be flossing twice a day. Gingivitis can actually lead to cancer.
It's true. That's how my dad died.
All right.
Shout out to the Dead Dad Club.
Yeah. So what you guys don't know is Brittany has terrible teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice smile, but there's actually a gray tooth in one of her canines.
Yeah.
Rachel Tice, it looks like it's that time.
What time is that?
Time for you to shut the fuck up, Rachel Tice. If you are done shoving all those dicks in your mouth, why don't you go eat a roly-poly like you did in the goddamn third grade?
Obviously, one problem that we have with this episode is we just kind of hit so many of the same beats. Which probably we shouldn't have done. We thought it was like people love this song. We'll play this song again.
That's 100% what it was. They're like so much of this episode is like, oh, we're gonna play the hits. That's what they want, right?
Here's all your favorite lines. With like,
I thought it was something else.
And there's Trenchcoat Cachadorian.
With the cheer squad.
Kate Frisbee.
No thanks. We already kind of did that.
Yeah, didn't go over too well.
We're just gonna go do our own thing now for a while.
Cool. Okay.
Later.
We're not going to be the big bad this year.
But yeah, so that is the most hated episode in the history of Most Popular Girls.
It's got really funny lines in
There's
it.
There's a lot of
it
funny
has some
jokes.
Some of my favorite jokes.
It really, like, that's part of the irony of like where this episode sits is there are a lot of really good individual jokes, really good individual lines and stuff like that we quote a lot. Yeah. But put together, they don't really work as a whole. For like, I think part of it is like the playing the hits kind of thing, where we just had an episode where so much new shit happens, right? Cezanne's pregnant. Deandra has a robot arm. Like all these different things are happening. All the jokes are new. They're like Mark and I, like we talked about when we rewatched it, there's a difference in the pace. It's a lot more joke heavy. Like we're like, our style is kind of developing. And this is a really kind of a throwback to more of that first season style of slower paced, just kind of like bouncing lines off of each other. And there's not a lot of evolution of the character. And then I think the thing that undercuts it the most is, this is it's an improv principle of like the episode is a lot of denial, right? It's Rachel and Judith going in and being like, this is great. And then Mackenzie and Brittany being like, no, you're not. You're not popular. No, you're not.
Right.
And so and so that just stops the momentum of the episode completely, where it's just them being like, this is like this. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
Right.
Yeah. And it literally is just us because, we ended season 1 with Rachel Tice wins, which was just because we didn't want anyone else to win. It was kind of a silly thing we would have rewritten had we been better writers at the time. But it was like, we don't want anything to change. Rachel Tice isn't important, so we just have to kind of knock that the fuck down. But it's not fun to watch a reset like that. Right. Especially the way we did it where, after this episode, like what's different? What's new? Nothing. We've actually... Yeah,
you need a fall from grace.
Yeah.
If she went back to school and was popular for 3 episodes and then everyone decided, whatever she had to fall somehow, and she never did.
What we should have done was held on what they were doing, not have them confront maybe the cheer squad immediately, but because I do think one of the funniest types of characters is Rachel and Judith being bitches.
Right.
That's some of my funniest things is like when Jude's like, "What's up, sluts?" Like that's fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
And Bobby and girls take the dime.
Yeah, it would have been funny to see like them just doing their own little Mean Girls thing without the cheer squad, just being bitchy to people, being like, "Oh, what's up? You guys want to fuck later?" And it's like, no, but like it still doesn't work. But they just won't lose it. They're changing their outfits, they're wearing prettier shit, but they still look. We could have done that for an episode or two, and then or either had them go, "We don't have it in us to be awful," or have them get smacked down and be like.
Or if they come to the realization of like, this is fucking exhausting. Jesus Christ.
Right. Yeah.
It takes how long to do your hair?
I would rather just watch Gossip Girl. Well, and we don't see enough of, I think in later seasons we get little pieces of it. We don't see enough of like the absolute power corrupts absolutely principle playing out, right? Of like, we needed to see Rachel and Judith be more awful if they got popularity. Right now, I just got done rewatching Larry Sanders Show.
It's perfect. It's a perfect show.
It's amazing. And the sidekick on the Larry Sanders Show, Hank, is always just like the beaten down guy. And through the beginning of the show, you almost feel sorry for him. And then they have an episode where he gets to be the guest host. And it turns out he's more of a monster than anybody else the minute that he gets the tiniest amount of power. And that's what we should, and that's ultimately what we should have done with Rachel and Judith. That we needed to show more of like, if they get a taste of this, they're going to be so much worse.
Yeah.
And instead,
watch that one.
Yeah. Instead, we just had the cheer squad come and be like, "No, you're not."
Yeah, it's tricky with ensembles and stuff like this because we like all the characters. We like to give them all little stories. But when you're doing shorts like this, 10-minute episodes, it becomes this thing of like, do they get a whole episode? We don't really have enough time for them to have something in an episode and then out. So that's why we, should this show ever come back or become more of a longer form thing? We have great ideas for Rachel and Judith, but they're great B, C storylines that could be throughout the entire episode. But to have them have an equal part, it's pretty hard to justify.
And that's one of the things that we realized over time as we started working with the characters more and more was we started recognizing which characters we can hang bigger stories on, right? Sure. Where it's like, oh, Mackenzie can handle the A story. She can be the one that puts out a bunch of exposition, and then she can also have jokes. And really, we found that ended up being Tanner's role largely too when it came to the guy stuff. Of Tanner can either be the straight man or he can be he can handle like the actual story that we need to progress. And Than can be weird and crazy around him, but he's that grounding influence and can handle things in the way that a Rachel and Judith type of character just can't handle, where they're not built for that.
That goes right back to, again, this all came from the IO stage, and that goes right back to improv principles of just like, it's story over joke. The jokes are going to be funny regardless. So if you can't tell the story the right way, we're in big fucking trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the other thing that stands out about this episode and what doesn't work about it, I think some of the, I've seen some of the comments echo something similar, is that a lot of the jokes are kind of paint by numbers, where it's like, oh, Judith is going to reference Pretty Little Liars or Bridget's going to reference Pretty Little Liars instead of Gossip Girl. And Rachel's going to have this different show on the DVR, but it's the same structure of the joke and it's the same joke. It's just different specifics. And what worked about the previous episode is it's different jokes. The story is moving forward. There's like the jokes are speeding up. Whereas this, it's almost exactly the same cadence, the same type of joke as that first Rachel and Judith episode. And when people saw it, they were like, I've already seen this. If I really like that episode, I'll go watch that episode. I don't need you guys to redo it with slightly better animation.
Yeah.
Now, we're about to jump into episode 3 of season 2, which is called Fatherhood. And now this episode suffers from a little bit of the same issue where we do it's the guys in the locker room. Than shows up being a douche. They're not into it. So, I mean, we are kind of hitting that beat again. Now, what's good about this is the ending is different. They send Than on a little bit of a quest, which is nice.
I was going to say, I think the ending's different, But where this episode works and the other one doesn't is there's a new joke structure, and I think we'll get into it. There's new jokes and there's story moving forward, and the guys feel like they're progressing. They're not like, it's not just a game. It's not just another rehash of the game of like, tell Than that he's weird.
Yeah.
And the other thing about the guys episodes, and this is true of episode 4 particularly with Pete, because it was Carlo, Pete, me, Dave Hill, and Brian Conwall, and all improvisers. And that episode 4 by far is the most improvised episode when we started really changing the script and playing, because we really started realizing we could all play together. And I do a lot of improvising as Than. So then, you guys were like, oh, we can just do that. We're like, yeah, let's just do that again. And so like we changed things up, like to push them all together like a dick burrito, like that. And then you guys all riffing. So anytime now we with the guys, you're going to feel a lot better pacing and snappiness because we were all improvising more now. I think you guys really helped break us free in the recording room to allow a lot more improvising, because just everyone was very comfortable doing it. Not every actor on the show is that into improvising, but with you guys, it's like a must.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see in this episode, the pacing of this episode really, like looking back at it now, it has a huge influence on the rest of the show. Like, I think we find something here in terms of the joke structure and how fast we're throwing jokes out that has a big influence on the rest of the show.
Is this the episode that has the football?
This is the football.
Oh, okay. It also has some of my favorite time jokes. All right.
Yep.
Here we go.
And so then I told him, well, coach, I guess in the end, it was me who really respected you.
So those are the uniforms that come with that old Barbie.
Yeah.
Sweet football pants.
Yeah.
But every other. Oh, I think we cut the S7 off. You can almost see the 7
I see
on
that,
jersey.
Yeah. I love that shark tooth necklace. It's just the funniest detail.
Still wearing it with the pads.
Why? Oh, Tanner, did you not hear? Starting next week, I'm going to be somebody's father. Specifically, my son's father. And from what I hear, that's at least a 3-hour-a-week job.
That's the kind of brain damage dumb we're dealing with. With a show like this, it's really hard to make it clear how dumb someone is. 9 months, that's like 2 years.
But realistically, we are all very much in fear for the safety of your unborn son and your daughter.
Yeah, me too.
This is also the episode where like we really start to get a sense of like the game of the guys is always like they're wonderful to each other. They're just lovely to each other all the time.
I love all those things.
Every now and then they bro out and say stupid, but they're pretty much delightful.
Right.
I want you to. God damn it.
Blaine, have you given any consideration to adoption?
Why would I want to adopt a kid? I'm already gonna have one in. Wait, how long was it again?
9 months, my friend. 9 months.
Blaine, serious talk right now. Having a child is a huge responsibility.
Yeah, unless, of course, you move to Pittsburgh with your receptionist on your son's 4th birthday. Then your responsibility only involves sending a birthday card and renewing a Gamefly membership.
Oh, that's a real dated reference right there. That puts you right in 2012.
Spent the last 3 weeks talking exclusively about that. Can we spend a few minutes up and Blaine out right now?
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Now that's being a team player.
Just think about like other episodes with the girls. By now they're cursing, saying fuck each other in the vagina, and these guys are like, "Hey, you talked about your dad. Now we're gonna." It's like this is so such slower pace.
And I also love the bit that where Matthew mentions like we've been talking exclusively about that for like 3 weeks.
We've been dealing with that.
Hold on to the football. Hold on to it. Hold on to it as if it were your own son. Nurture it. Care for it.
Also, Matthew is not wearing a shirt specifically because we only had 2 football jerseys.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, obviously.
Do not drop it. Ever. Do you understand?
Are you saying?
And why is Tanner wearing his jersey but no pads? Right. Blaine has pads.
He took his pads off, put his shirt back on.
Only thing we've been saying.
Oh, sweet.
Well, if it isn't the football team,
Yes, Jonathan, that's exactly what we are.
Did you see what I did there? I put the emphasis
I think
on
what works so much more about this episode compared to the last one is we're taking the framework of their first episode and then building off of it and riffing off of it and doing like saying like here's similar structure and then we're gonna go this way.
Yeah.
Well, he's also not as antagonistic as much as he's like, oh guys, we're here again. Like Dan's just kind of. Yep.
show you? Or do you want to show me?
Show you what?
Oh, you know.
Dan, is this your weird-ass way of asking me out?
What? The only thing I'm asking you out for is to step outside so I can pound your ass.
All right, Jonathan. Now listen. Was that the goddamn baby? Can we lock this shit down for 1 minute?
Sorry.
Well, let's not give it to him if he's just gonna throw it again. We gotta figure that out first.
I feel like we definitely improvised that. I feel like I
That was
remember.
full improv. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be like, let's pretend this
Don't give it to him.
him.
He's just gonna throw it again.
Yeah.
Often sound like homosexual acts. For example, you just asked Tanner to go outside so you can pound him in the ass. Do you see how that could be misconstrued?
I meant pound his ass with my fist.
Whoa, still very gay.
Oh, blow me. Please. Please?
There you go. See, right there. That's another example.
Fine, I'm the asshole. Just fuck me, all right? Fuck me. I'm the asshole. Just fuck me in the asshole.
You see, that's not even a double entendre. How can he not see this? That's just you.
There's a weird thing, and obviously this is not intentional, and it means nothing whatsoever. But only male characters who are somewhat either bisexual or gay can bend their elbows and wrists. I don't know why, but it has nothing to do with. It's not on purpose. It's just something that happened.
Don't you ruin that kid's life. Don't you ruin it.
You guys don't even know. I've had sex with like 12 or 2 women. I could go have sex with a woman right now if I felt like it.
Please do. Please go do.
So we're assuming when he says 12 or 2, the joke is obviously it's 2. But is that what he's saying? We think he's had sex with 2 women.
No, I think the joke is that he's just making up numbers that he thinks sounds realistic.
Fine, great, good. Watch out, women, because Stan's had an erection for the last 10 minutes.
I'm of the belief that at this point in the show, Than is a virgin.
Yeah.
Yes, I think. Well,
now eventually at the end of this season, he sucks a guy off in a Daytona Beach bathroom, and
still, I think that still makes you a virgin, right?
True.
What, right? What indeed?
I mean, do you lose your virginity if you suck a someone off? Do you lose your virginity if you get sucked off? Let us know in the comments.
Great poll for this week.
I love this back and forth, by the way.
Same.
Yeah, it's great.
This is one of my favorites. These two figure each other out.
What makes you think that I want to have sex with you?
Whoa, what makes you think I want to have sex with you?
You just asked me. Besides, every guy in school wants to have sex with me.
Every guy in school wants to have sex with me.
I find that hard to believe.
So do they. So, you want to see me put a condom on my mouth?
I think that line has been in every trailer that we've ever cut for the show.
Yeah, the so do they. Not the condom, but the mouth thing.
Go around having sex with any girl.
Oh, there's a little shot of my hand in there. That's awesome. Glad that made it in. Couldn't edit that out, I guess.
This was also the very brief period when we had the watermark burned into each episode.
I fucking hate myself forever for doing that.
This
was back when
YouTube
hashtags
introduced
really
that.
were the thing. Yeah, we were just trying to.
Fuck me without fucking me.
Fun fact, I can ride a unicycle without a seat.
Okay, but just so you know, I only let boys fuck me in my butthole. All right?
That is not a problem.
Not a problem.
Just wait until Blaine hears about this.
Oh, yeah. I've been thinking about Blaine this whole time.
Pete, I'm curious. Again, we're talking about like 12, 13 years ago, but like the show has changed significantly between seasons 1 and 2. You've done a few episodes. We've done the full season, but now we know that like there's something here. Do you have any recollection of like kind of where you were at, what you were working on, and like, you know, when we gave you the call to do this episode and do another season, what your thoughts were?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Lily telling me like, "Hey, this is a thing now," so I fucked up when I first got here because I was like, someone immediately when I first got here in 2007 said, "Hey, your comedy's really funny. You should be on YouTube," and I was like, "It's a fad." You know, like she was just such like an obstinate asshole actor. And so even with this show being on YouTube, Lily was like, you know, this is a thing. And I was like, but is it a thing? It's a YouTube thing. Like I had, and so I will say I was so on the periphery. Also, like I was running Beso. I was running Eva Longoria's bar in Hollywood. Right. I was barely sleeping. I was probably drinking too much. Not an alcoholic type of thing, but like I was just working my ass off. I was drinking. I was like, it was just like not the best time in my life. And so I don't think I understood until maybe the end of season 2, beginning of season 3, that like, this wasn't just a thing. It was something very special. I think it took me a little longer than most.
I mean, I think I would venture to guess that for Mark and I, that realization for us didn't hit that much earlier than for you. Beginning of season 2 was when Mark was able to start doing this full time. And then beginning of season 3 was when I was able to start doing it full time. But I think that Mark and I both, like, we, as excited as we were about it, and as much as it like we were like, oh my God, this is working, let's keep doing it. We also were very like, let's be smart about this. And this was around the time when we were making the active decision of like, listen, we can milk the YouTubiness of this show into the ground, and we can have a couple of good years, right? And we can try to be like as big on YouTube as possible,
right?
Or we can try to sell this as a TV show and use this as a jumping off point for our writing careers and make this into like what we want it to be. And that was the path that we chose. It was clearly wrong because we never sold the fucking TV show.
Yeah, but you know what? It wasn't wrong because it's always, the scariest stuff is the right stuff. And I think it led you to where you are now. And you did sell the show for a hot second.
We did. Yeah. Just never went on TV.
Sure. But like there was a bidding war for the show. So like you did do the right thing. And I will say, like, I was also on the periphery of like, that was also when Hollywood had auditions. So like I was during the day, I was going out for The Office and Parks and Rec. And so like a YouTube show didn't sound like a thing that was going to do anything
100%.
For me. So it was just fun to hang out with my friends on the side.
Right. And because there was nothing like at the time, there was no like show on YouTube that was doing well. There were YouTubers that were doing okay, but those were big mass guys who were doing like 30 videos a day of like different shit. There was nothing like this, and there was no path there like there is now. There wasn't Patreon, there weren't podcasts. Yeah. So it was just like, there's no way to make this work.
I never watched YouTube either. Like it wasn't a thing for me. It still isn't. Like I'm so behind on that. I'm such a consumer of film and TV, but I can't sit in front of a computer and watch something. I just can't do it. It just escapes me. I travel almost every weekend, and I never take my computer out of my bag unless I have to put a voiceover audition on tape. Like I'm not watching anything on the computer.
It's also funny that you say that because both this podcast and a lot and like in the back catalog of Most Popular Girls, more and more it's people watching it on TV, people opening up the YouTube app and watching it on TV. And that's something that we've watched evolve with our channel over the years is, like in the heyday of Most Popular Girls, when we were putting out new episodes, a lot of, most of the consumption was on mobile and then, obviously a lot on desktop and nothing on TV. Right. Yeah. And that aspect of it has just grown and grown and grown. Yeah. But like one of the things that we experienced all the time when we were pitching the show and when we were trying to like sell ourselves as writers was the YouTube of it all, and being successful on YouTube was almost a detriment for us and a thing that we had to apologize for. Sure. And a thing that when we were out pitching, we had to be like, no, like we have chops. Like we know how to write comedy. We know how to write jokes. We just so happen to have hit big on YouTube, but we're not over here doing prank videos.
Yeah, dude. I mean, to be honest with you, that was the same thing for voice acting for me for a long time. Nobody knew that I did Silver. I didn't tell anybody. Like literally, I didn't. I remember Ashley, for my wife, for years would be like, "Hey, do something with your Sonic stuff," and I was like, "No one gives a shit. It's not going to help my career." And so like, it was just something I did on the side. Being so blissfully in my head unaware of the outside periphery is it winds up like it's not blissful. I'm just like with horse blinders on, and not realizing what could have been, or and that's we're all in the right places. We're all where we're supposed to be, but like just like realizing later on is sometimes hard to swallow.
Pete, I'm curious. What was the impetus? So like obviously conventions are a big part of your career and your day to day now. What was the impetus that got you into that world?
I did this fan convention, this very small thing in Carson, California. For like since 2018, I showed up for free, didn't make people pay for signatures or anything. It was just a small thing to meet the Sonic fans. And then in 2023, when it came back after the pandemic. So I did it 2018, 2019, and then the world shut down. And then 2023, when it came back, they asked me to go again. And I said to Ashley, like, hey, I think I have to charge for stuff. I'm going to buy some Funko Pops at $10 a pop. I'm going to sell them for $30. And she's like, you can't sell them for 3 times the price. Now they're $125 at my table because I realize the value is going up to like way more than that. And so I was there and I had an amazing day, like financially amazing day. But the guy who played Sonic and Shadow in my games also randomly showed up. He wasn't supposed to. And then like that week before, he like decided he was going to come. And we had the same line, had the same amount of people. And then I went over to his table afterward. And I looked at his prices and I was like, bro, where did you come up with these prices? He said, I got a convention agent. And I was like, a what? And he's like, dude, he wants to meet you. And by the time I got home, I had 3 messages from this guy in my inbox. And like, it just started me on this journey that I didn't know. And like conventions have been like kicking for like 10, 15 years. I just had no idea. So part of it was like, oh, this is something I could do and I could supplement my income with it. But also like what we talked about before, it like fills my creative cup in such a lovely way when the industry is crickets right now. So I get to go to panels. I get to do improv. I played live Dungeons and Dragons on stage, which is like doing an improv show. I meet other voice actors. I meet my heroes. Dude, I was at a convention and like, I was next to Steve Guttenberg, one of the reasons why I got into comedy. And I got to tell him he's one of the reasons I got into comedy. Same with like meeting the voice of Wolverine in X-Men, for the X-Men animated series, where like that's the reason why I wanted to do voices. Like all of this stuff, just being in this world made me want to stay in that world. So
I love that. That's so cool. And the fact that it started from that, German of an idea and just being like, fuck it, let me give this a shot and
yeah, man. Well, it's also post pandemic and like, the fuck am I going to do for money now? And like the industry hadn't recovered and the bar industry still hasn't recovered. And I was just like, I told Ashley too, I was like, if I serve another table or make another drink, you are going to have a dead husband. Like I'm not going to make it out of there.
Well, segueing into, as we're closing this up, Pete, since you are doing conventions and stuff, and so many MPGiS fans would love to come see you, do you know which ones you're going to be at in the near future?
Yeah, I have so many coming up. But I guess the big ones...
Jesus Christ, brag.
I know. Hold on. But the big ones that are not just Sonic stuff, I'm going to be...
Is there a place someone can go to see all the conventions?
Yeah, I think the easiest thing to do is follow me at Pete Capella on all social media, and I will post. I always post where I'm going to be. And I have Carlo made me an amazing Tanner Christiansen print that is on my table that I've had to get reprinted a couple times. That's how many I have.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Like because it is such a good print and people love it. So MPGIS fans out there, come and say hi.
I'm going to be in California next week. I'll see. I might be able to get you the Tanner Christiansen doll if you'd like, and you can be the custodian. Now, you can't lose it and you can't sell it unless you split the money.
I would never sell it. No.
Yeah, but I'll try to get that for you because I knew how much people love to just see
I
that.
think I have Tanner.
You may. So if you do, that'd be a good thing to pizza perfect ambassador.
Next time
that
I
way,
see you, or like
I would love that. People would go bananas with it.
Yeah, because then you take pictures with the character and you. It's a
totally cool.
Yeah,
amazing.
We'll plan to grab some lunch sometime.
I would love that.
Yeah, man. I'm working in West LA now, so
follow Pete Capella, guys. Go see him. Go say that you love the podcast, and then ask him, when is MPGS coming back? Because Pete knows. He's not telling you on the podcast, but he does. He's the only one that actually does have that answer. So please go ask him.
Yeah, I mean, if you buy enough prints, I'm happy to fund it.
There
All I
we
need
go.
is
That's
500,000 prints sold.
We're gonna funnel this through Pete.
Yeah,
so Pete,
great.
how we end each podcast is we say goodbye in the Van Buren style that I'm sure you know. So here we go, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.